you have the same old fight with your partner and the same outcome of frustration, powerlessness, maybe sadness or anger, hostility, and you feel that it creates a gap, division between you. And this is really not what you truly wish for. Maybe you feel your boss is taking advantage of you. You meant no, but you said yes, or you didn't clearly say anything. It could be, your mom calling, and every time you end up with this feeling that she lays blame and guilt on you. Yeah, I would like to share with you some really useful tools. If this resonates with you, I will invite you to stay until the end. I will then share with you how this truly had a radical impact in changing my entire life. And this could be the outcome for you too. What we say really matters. The way we communicate really has an effect and an impact on other people and on our lives. I know this deeply from my own life, and also from the time where I had clients when I was working as a psychotherapist, and I see it on a daily basis in other people's lives, and people sharing problems with me. So much comes back to communication, to lack of skills in communication. And it's actually something that we can learn. Healthy, self-responsible, kind, clear communication with integrity. It's something that we can learn. But most of us are just not naturally skilled in doing that, unless we have been raised with parents who were really good at teaching us that. It's for so many people, it's really hard to do it in a constructive, healthy, and good way. I think the number one most important thing in communication is actually listen. Listen with your full presence. Listen with an open heart if you are able to at all. Try to stay present in a sense where you have an open curiosity to actually hear what the other person is sharing with you. Try not to focus inward on yourself in preparing your answer. A lot of times when communication goes wrong, we are not open, we are not really present, we are preparing the next thing we want to say, whether it's defense or attack. But constructive and healthy communication is very much more about sharing. Sharing and reducing the gap between yourself and the other person. So you have to listen and stay open to really trying to understand where the other person is coming from. Which leads me to the next point, and that is, don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. If you are what's that called? I can't remember the word in English. But if you already think you know what the other person is going to say, or where they come from, or what they mean, and you're assuming, then there is no communication. Then you might as well leave it, because you have to stay open to hear what is the actual thing. And it may be the same words as you have heard before from the other person, but maybe you haven't gotten that perspective. Maybe there is still something in that perspective that you haven't realized yet because you haven't been open to it. Remember, this is about getting a different outcome than you're used to. And to get a different outcome, you have to do something different from what you usually do. Do as you usually do, and you get the same outcome as you usually do. And you can't solve a problem with the same approach that created the problem in the first place. Now, often we feel that it is the other person who is the problem. It is the other person who is creating the problem. But it always takes two to tango, you know. And still, if you want a different outcome than you are used to, you have to change perspective and approach. So listen openly with presence and curiosity. Ask open questions. Ask, instead of assuming something, ask the other person to explain more, to unfold it more, and forget what your own response is going to be until later. Once you have heard the other person say everything, lay it all out, unfold it, you have asked questions, then summarize. Say what you have heard and ask if you have understood it right. And when it's your turn to say your piece, number one thing is stay in your own lane. Stay on your own side of the net. All sentences starting with you and pointing at the other person is usually not landing well, because it will be understood as a blame or an attack or a criticism. And you yourself might feel that is in its place, because you are always the one doing this, that, or the other. But I will actually invite you to maybe pause the video, take a notebook, and I will ask you, what is it that you really feel underneath the frustration and the anger when you say, for example, you are always doing this or that to, for example, your partner, or you never listen, you never clean up, you this, that, and the other. What is the feeling underneath? Take 5 and write down some answers for yourself. Really feel in your stomach and in your heart what is going on underneath. If you don't feel like doing that, you can just continue with me. By the way, my name is Gitte Olesen, and this is my cat Fitter. My channel is about personal growth, meaningful life, everyday happiness, and in that area, communication is so important. I have a lot to say about that, and I have a lot of really good skills in communication. So if you're interested in that kind of content, please like and subscribe, and please, I invite you to hang on to the end, because I want to tell you how this learning these skills really changed my life, and I so hope that it can inspire you to maybe change some really important things in your life. To give you an example to try and emphasize the meaning of what I'm trying to explain, let's say you feel that your partner is always just leaving the mess with you to clean up. I'm sure a lot of people will know that situation. So what is the feeling underneath when you have a fight again and again and again, saying you always leave this pile of dirt and I have to deal with it, blah, blah, blah. Do you feel lonely? Do you miss him or her? Imagine if the situation was turned around and a person says to you, you always leave the mess, you always do this, that, and you never do this, that, and the other. Especially the always and the never words. They have a strong impact. It's like, woof. You can't put anything up against that, can you? And then compare it to if he or she stays in his or her own lane and say to you instead, like imagine how you receive it. You receive that sound of you doing this and that, and you never doing this and that. Or if they say, when it's really messy and I am tired after my working day, I need to have calmness in my head, and I can't really do that until it looks nice around me. I feel so stressed out. Or so that's the I thing. I feel this. I need this. I need that. Or maybe even, I miss when we first met, I felt that we were such a team. I miss this feeling of being a team, the feeling of you always having my back and me having yours, that we were team players. I miss that. I actually miss you. How would that be received? So if you stay in your own lane and you have I feel sentences instead of you do or you don't or you never or you always, it will be received so differently. But it's really important then that you take the responsibility for your own feelings and that you dare to let yourself be vulnerable. Because instead of going into the battlefield, this will actually open up for your own vulnerability. Because there will usually be a more vulnerable spot underneath where it actually reveals some loneliness or some sadness or some longing for something inside of you. And that's what you have to take responsibility for. And if you want to change your ways, your outcomes of fighting and bad communication, that's exactly the place you have to reveal, have to share from that place. It will make a difference. I promise that will make a difference. That will be met differently than what usually happens when it's a fighting back. You blaming someone blaming you back. As human beings, I believe that most of us really just long for and urge for the same things. We want to feel connected. We want to feel loved. We want to feel appreciated. We want to be part of a team, part of a group, part of a relationship. In my 30s, I had a huge crash and burn life crisis. I didn't feel that I could be me and live with integrity and show everybody who I really was. And we had a lot of dysfunctional communication in my family. And because of my massive crisis, I started in therapy. And one of the first things I had to learn was to communicate in a different manner. Communicate according to what I really felt inside. So I had to be not emotionally driven into reactive communication, but actually owning my own vulnerability and be honest to myself about that and be more honest in communicating with people. To stay in my own lane and say, I need this, I don't like that, I prefer such, or, And I remember in many therapy lessons, especially at the beginning, when I needed to deliver a message to someone or to take a difficult conversation with someone, I was talking to my therapist first, and I was trying to write down, what I needed to say, and she would help me pick out all the thorns and stay in my own lane and do it the healthy, self-responsible, honest way. And it was difficult. It's not done overnight. It's really a process. And I quickly discovered how different people reacted to me, or sometimes they react in a harsh way, but then again, I had to come back in the same manner and stick to my no if this was about boundaries, for example. And I remember saying, oh my gosh, I really wish and hope that I someday will be able to do this in a natural way without thinking so much about it, without all this practice and all those hours picking out thorns of every message I delivered and such. And she was like, you'll get there. Believe it, you will get there. And I did get there. I feel that I really have excellent skills in communicating today. And it has changed my life truly, because honestly, today I can be with my whole family, from uncles to aunties to moms to dads to everything, siblings and whatnot. And I can be me. And I can be me with my boss. I can be honest. I'm not afraid to say what I feel and think and need and don't like and prefer and such. And I can do it in an honest way with integrity. And I really don't think so much about it anymore. I just kind of do it. It has become very aligned with who I am today. And I feel that people respect me for it. I feel that other people feel kind of safe because they know where they have me. They know that what they see is what they get, and that I am honest and also direct, but I do it I do it with kindness. So it has truly changed my life because I also opened myself up a lot more to listening to my family that I used to have so difficult times with. And I see their intentions in another light. And also because I have learned to take responsibility for my own feelings. I feel at home in my body now, and I love my whole family, every single one of them. And I respect them, and we are so good together. We have so good times, and there is so much love. And really, I tell you, 20 years back, I never would have thought that this could happen. I never would have thought this could happen. To feel so comfortable in my own skin and to feel that I live with integrity the way I do. And I think that is a possibility for everybody, also for you, one step at a time. One step at a time. And I am beginning to dive deeper into this communication thing because recently I have experienced different situations with people asking me for help to I'm in a pickle with this person, or I have to talk to a friend about this, and blah blah blah, and we have been doing actually what I used to do with my therapist. So they are telling me what they want to say, and they're trying to say it, write it, and I look through it, they look through it, and we look at what can be misunderstood and where are you a bit on the other person's lane, and could you be a little more kind here, or can this sentence be misunderstood so they actually think that blah blah instead, But doing that kind of exercise with a good friend, oh, that is so good. That is so good. And if I have doubts about something, I will maybe talk to my husband and he will help me go through something. But once you have learned it, it makes life so much easier because it is a feeling of being and allowing yourself to be who you truly are. And it brings people together instead of making division. Once you reveal that honesty and that vulnerability and those true feelings underneath irritation, frustration, anger, and hostility, and blame, or victimizing yourself, or whatever. Once you get the vulnerability underneath that and you talk from that place, people will feel you more and they will be more open to you. It makes conversation so different. So it might bring together instead of dividing. Of course, in some situations, it takes you to a place where you think, I don't want to be in this anymore. And then you will have to act on that. But communication, so important. It's a shame we don't learn it from grade 1 in school, If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, because I have a feeling that I will be diving deeper into this kind of content. There's a lot to say about strong and healthy communication with integrity. Thank you very much for watching. Is this how you communicate, Fitter? I like that. From an honest and vulnerable place. Yeah, I get you. I know exactly what you mean.